Hey guys, Jeff with OptionBoxer.com back with another strategy video for you today. Today we're going to look at the poor man's covered call, but before we get into that, please know that I am not a registered financial advisor, and this video is not a recommendation for you to buy or sell any security or place any options trade. Just make sure you're doing your own research prior to trading. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the rules here up on screen for this poor man's covered call strategy, and we'll run through these really quickly, and then we'll look at a hypothetical trade. So rule one, if the asset price declines by 20%, we're going to want to abandon the strategy. So if Bank of America in this instance, in this case, is what I'm looking at. If Bank of America goes down by 20%, we're going to want to get out and abandon the strategy, take whatever loss we have and move on. If the short contract becomes significantly in the money at any point during the trading strategy, we're going to want to adjust it to at the money. The criteria, I'm just going to look at a 1 year, 1 day chart. My front month is going to be 30 to 60 days to expiration. My back month or my long is going to be 100 to 200 days to expiration. As far as technical analysis, determining whether it's in a bullish or a bearish environment, I'm just looking for price to be above the 9 EMA line. For the entry, the long, I'm looking for at the money, and for the short, I'm looking for one strike higher than the long. For an exit, I'm looking for a 50% profit target of the entry net debit. So if we paid $150 to initiate the position, I'm looking for a $75 profit. If at expiration, all of these rules that I've got highlighted here are with regard to when the short contract is nearing expiration. So if at that point 70% of the short premium is captured, we're going to want to roll the long to at the money and roll the short one strike higher. If there's a neutral price move, meaning price doesn't go anywhere, if it's profitable, we could close the position and look to reallocate capital somewhere else. If it's unprofitable, we're going to want to roll the long to at the money or leave it unchanged. And then we're going to want to roll the short one strike higher or one strike out of the money. If we were looking at a higher price move, if we did not meet our 50% profit target with that move, we're going to want to leave the long unchanged and roll the short to approximately 60 days to expiration and one strike out of the money. The only caveat I would say to a higher price move is if you're running close to the 100-day mark on your long, you may want to roll that out and realize the profit on that position so that price doesn't turn around and go the other way, and you lose all the capital that you could have gained. So that's the only caveat here. But we're going to trade based on these rules, and we'll take a look at that together. So again, I've got Bank of America pulled up. You could trade this on any asset you want using this particular criteria. But I like Bank of America because it's a smaller price stock and it's fairly liquid. Not fairly liquid, it is very liquid. So it's a nice asset to perform this strategy on. You'll see as we go through this, it's not a quick hitting, I don't know. You'll see as we go through this that it's not going to be a strategy that's going to make you a lot really quickly, or it's not going to lose you a lot really quickly. It's a very conservative strategy, and so I hope you'll see that as we go through this, or when we're done with this, that you feel the same way. But let's go ahead and look to enter based on our rules. So we're going to look at 177 days. That is between the 100 and 200 day mark, and we're going to buy the long there. And then between 30 and 60 days, we're going to sell the short strike or the short contract one strike higher. So we're 26. We're going to sell the 27. So we got filled at 172. Half of that is 86. So our profit target is $86 on this particular trade. So let's skip ahead a week or so. You'll also see this doesn't take a lot of management. While the rules may have been a lot to look at to start this video, you'll see that it doesn't take much. You'll see that it doesn't take much to manage this strategy and to turn a small profit with some pretty simple rules over the course of a few months or a few weeks. So right now we're looking at a $21 profit. We did have a large move against us, so we need to keep an eye on our short contract. But with 42 days, I still think it's more than capable of falling back down underneath that, so I wouldn't be too concerned just yet. If you wanted to adjust it, you could, since you are looking at a $135 loss. But for me, I'm going to hold it for another week. So the next thing we need to keep an eye on is when this short contract reaches the 70% profit mark. So we're going to skip ahead until that happens. Not quite there yet, about 50%, a little less. Looks like we reached that 70% mark or close to it. So we're going to want to adjust this, keeping an eye on the time you have left on the long there. You could adjust it if you wanted to. For now, I'm going to leave it and just adjust the short. We just want to make sure we keep that short contract higher than the long contract. So if we're not going to adjust the long, we got to go a little bit further out of the money on the short. At about $23, so about 50% there, a little less. So keeping an eye on that short contract for when it reaches the 70% profit mark. Looks like if we would have managed this yesterday, probably would have reached that point. So let's go back in time by 1 day. And not quite. It's all right, we're going to skip ahead another week. Make sure our time is good. 134 days on the long, still good there. Let's go ahead and skip it out. Still not quite to our 70% mark here on the short, but we still do have a good time on both of those contracts. So we'll skip one more week. All right, so we probably need to adjust the short. It's still not quite where we want it, I don't think. I'm going to do the math. So still not quite 70%, but there's just not a lot of premium there to be had, and we've already collected $38. So at this point, I'm going to roll it. I'm actually going to adjust both contracts here just to give us some more time. Buy that. And then we're going to want to roll this. So let's buy that back. Our long is now at 25, so we want to be at 26. Again, still looking for an $86 profit. Mildly profitable at this moment, but I don't think we've made enough or lost enough on the short to adjust. Still the same, still got plenty of time on both contracts. 154 days there, so no management needed. Just keeping an eye on the short for when we hit that 70% of premium captured. Doesn't look like we've done that yet. Looks like we're getting really close to that profit target now. Still have plenty of time on the long and getting close to expiration on the short. So we'll hold it for one more week and then possibly adjust. Looks like we have realized the bulk of the profit here, so I'm going to adjust that short. May look to adjust the long as well. So let's go ahead and close this to start with. Well, actually, let's take a look at the long. So it's just in the money. You're not enough in the money, I don't think, to really make adjusting it. Adjusting it doesn't make sense with where it's at. It's still kind of right where we want it. So let's just roll the short, making sure it's above our long contract. So we want to go to 26. We still need about $35 in profit to reach our profit goal. At this point, looks like we've collected about 80% of the short, so we need to adjust that short. And we're getting close on the long here, so I'm going to adjust both the long and the short. So let's close this. Roll it out to 175, right at the money. And let's roll this out and one strike higher. So our long now is at 24, so we want to sell the 25. And we'll look at commissions here in a second. I know it seems like we're taking a lot of trades. We'll look at the commissions as well on the overall strategy here to see how they may have impacted us. I don't think we're quite at the 70% mark yet, but we're going to adjust this anyway. Just roll it out and collect a little more premium. Again, our long was at 24, so we need to be above that. So let's go 25. Keeping an eye on the days you have left on the long as well. And we're very, very close to our profit target. Maybe could have gotten it on one of these days prior. But at this point, just to shorten this video up, I'm going to go ahead and say we've achieved our goal. If I held it for another week, I more than likely could reach that $87 or $86 profit target. And we'll see if we did. Yeah, $87.50. So if I held it one more week, we reached our target goal or our target profit. And let's take a really quick look at, let's sell this to close to capture that premium or capture that profit. and we met our goal. It took us a while to get there, but we did meet our goal. Let's take a quick look at how many orders. I don't know for anybody else, but for me, I trade, my contract fee is 65 cents per contract. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 contracts times 65 cents is $11.70. So 87 minus 11.70 means we had a net profit of $75. We took our first trade on 5/27, so way back here, and our last trade was on November the 20th. So you can see it is a very slow strategy, and $87 certainly isn't shocking by any stretch of the imagination. But if we had traded 10 contracts, we'd be looking at $870. If we had traded 100 contracts, we'd be looking at $8,700. So you can see as you scale up, it becomes much more profitable. Or it can, dollar wise, it starts to make a lot more sense if you scale it up. But again, just wanted to put it out there. It's a very conservative strategy, not going to lose a lot, not going to make a lot very quickly. So that's why I chase the 50% profit target, because it is achievable. It just may take you a little bit, and it will take some adjustments. But anyways, I hope you guys liked it. And if you do like any of the videos that I produce or that I make, I shouldn't say produce, I don't put a lot of time into production. But if you like any of the videos that I make, please do consider liking and subscribing. It does help me out in a big way. But thank you guys for watching. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach me in the comments or at jeff@optionboxer.com. All right, see you next time.